Introduction. I have come to rectify the misinterpretations placed on the teachings given when known as Jesus in Palestine 2,000 years ago. Christ also says, because people are on the threshold of a world crisis of enormous proportions, it is vital for survival that I, the Christ, should reach all who will listen. You know little of the true process of creation in which you yourselves play a major role. It is imperative that you should understand them sufficiently to enable you to embark on the implementation of a higher vision for all humanity. It is impossible for my spiritual consciousness to take on human form, to enable me to speak to you directly. I have deprogrammed and prepared a receptive, obedient mind to receive my truth and frame it in words. She is my recorder. Recorder, before reading Christ's letters, you may want to know how this spiritual exercise of transmission of consciousness was achieved. The work of preparing me to become Christ's recorder began 40 years ago, when as a committed Christian encountering grievous difficulties as a farmer and asking Christ for help, an unexpected, forceful answer caused me to re-examine and discard all religious dogma. Enlightenment followed and clearly led to new directions of work and study. I founded a business dealing with people, which flourished. For 7 years, I enjoyed success and much happiness. To grow in spiritual understanding, I then went through diverse, very traumatic human experiences, and after much suffering, painfully and gainfully, learnt their lessons and transcended them spiritually. One evening, in response to prayer for guidance, the presence of Christ became a reality who gave me irrefutable proof of his identity. He spoke to me for an hour, sending strong waves of cosmic love through my body, and gave me a brief description of what I was to be taught and eventually achieve. A fortnight later, he led me through a transcendent experience of conscious union with God. I became a healer and instrumental in some instantaneous healings. In 1966 to 1978, at important points in my life, in response to questioning, Christ instructed me in spiritual scientific principles, now explained by Christ in his letters. In 1975, I experienced a night of visions describing events between 1983 and 1994, all of which came true. I was again told that there would be work for me to do in the future. Eventually, after many and varied vicissitudes, always alleviated by my strong connections with Christ and my deepening understanding and personal experience of first cause, I was brought to my present home. Here I have lived an increasingly solitary life in the past 20 years, sometimes in clear and close contact with Christ, and sometimes left to strengthen my faith and patience in the spiritually dry periods. In the past 4 years, I have been led through mental, emotional purification, reaching my goal of perfect inner peace and joy. Christ has put me through a gradual but very clear refining process. When perfectly empty of self, malleable and receptive, the voice began its dictation and the letters began to take shape. The letters are entirely the work of Christ. Nothing in them has been derived from other literature, although in recent years certain writers have obviously drawn much of their own inspired insight from Christ's consciousness radiation of truth. All those who are in harmony with his consciousness, are greatly blessed. I am merely the recorder, nothing more. Letter 1. I, the Christ, take this opportunity to speak directly to you. I have come to rectify the misinterpretations placed on the teachings given when known as Jesus in Palestine 2,000 years ago. They are being put through one who during the past 40 years have been spiritually sensitive and dedicated enough to receive my words and act on them. These letters are truth. They transcend all religious doctrines in the world. These letters will liberate you. They are for all people who are searching for meaning to existence, purpose in their lives, strength to face the daily struggle to live and endure hardship, sickness, despair, and inspiration for those who inspire to greater spiritual awareness in their daily lives. You might say that these letters are a master's course for those who are ready to put foot to path which I have traveled when on earth in Palestine. You may doubt that the above words are true. As you read these pages and go into the facts I'm giving you concerning existence and the origin of personality, you will realize that this truth could only have come from the highest source. Those who have difficulty in understanding these letters should read them a page at a time, then put them aside and meditate. Gradually, the meaning will seep into your consciousness, for these pages are a link between your consciousness and my transcendent consciousness. Come to these letters with a mind as free of ideas and beliefs and prejudices as a very little child, before it is indoctrinated with human belief. Bring me your uncluttered mind, a seeking mind, and I will fill it with true treasure, the treasure of the highest knowledge, which, as you absorb it, will lighten your daily load and lead you into green pastures of brightest light, signifying abundance, joy, rapture, and the fulfillment of every need.